we can proceed for internal assessments, how you can achieve a 7 in internal assessments. Okay, all right. So all of you are aware of that IB have two types of I would say two requirements. One is internal assessment, one is external assessment. External assessment, when I say 80%. Internal assessment, that is 20% of your total marks, marked internally. When we say internal assessment, it's marked internally, but moderated by IB, 20 marks. And that plays a big role in your, final grades, those who want to get 7. How we should choose our topic, how we should proceed for internal assessment. First of all, we have shared with you a document called IB Internal Assessment Criterion Descriptors, right? Today also I have reshared with you in your WhatsApp. Again, I'm repeating, if you want to achieve 7 in IB or IA internal assessment, make sure that you have thorough understanding of those descriptors, criterion descriptors. There are 5 criterions, right? A, B, C, D, E, SL and HL. Same for all levels. HL have criterion E different than SL. So when you produce your work, that work is assessed on the basis of those descriptors, criterion descriptors. Very important to have thorough understanding. If you just want to, okay, you don't listen. I have seen many students who are capable of doing, but they don't pay attention what teachers say. Then ultimately they end up with 2, 3, 4 only, not more than that. No matter how beautiful or how big work in mathematics or great work in mathematics you submit, that won't lead you to get 20 out of 20 or 18 or 19 until or unless that work is based on the requirements of IB criterion descriptors, 5 criterion: presentation, communication, personal engagement, reflection, and use of mathematics. Everybody should go through it, make notes, highlight. It's like you are reading ABC of something. Each and every word should be thoroughly understood. If not, ask questions, clarify your doubts. Okay. Now, many times what students do, they choose their aim without thinking what will he or she do. And then they start up writing with introduction, rational, and blah, 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 blah. And there is no mathematics. Mathematics will write at the end. That's not the right way to, approach for internal assessment. When you have selected a topic, it should be based on your personal interest. The topic which is in which you are most interested. Okay, so that's the key point here. Before you decide the topic, you must have a strong personal interest in that, because from there your personal engagement will. If you do not have personal interest, I'm sorry to say, it is very difficult to dwell on criterion C, personal engagement. Aim, then rational, that why did you choose this topic? That is your personal interest, I would say. You start with criterion E, not with A, B, C, D. Start with criterion E. If you have chosen a topic, start with looking at what mathematics you are going to apply. That mathematics, what you are going to apply or choose or pick up, should be based or commensurate with the level of SL or beyond. It should not be mere pure learning topic that you pick up from some simple topics. Then in that case, in criterion E, you will get only not more than 2 or 3, 2 out of 6. So first thing is decide what topic interests you. You may define the statement, aim. You may frame a question also. Then brainstorm, do some research that what mathematics you are going to apply, or which mathematics, because out of 5, you may choose number and algebra, you may choose geometry, trigonometry, coordinate geometry, or maybe calculus or statistics, in which you have stronghold. In your aim, what you're going to explore and what mathematics you're going to choose, it should be of SL level or beyond. That's very, very important, guys. I will show you one example also, annotated example. It is very important that you give very much importance to criteria E, because once you're done with criteria E, presentation, communication, personal engagement, and reflection will automatically follow. That's very important to understand descriptors of criteria E. Mathematics should be commensurate with SL level or beyond. And what does criteria E says? It should be relevant, as I told you, should be commensurate with the SL level. or beyond, you must demonstrate the good understanding. You must demonstrate. When we say demonstrate good understanding, what does it mean? Display your understanding with examples. Justify why you chose this approach. That is very important. So I give always advice to my students that full focus before you start your internal assessment should be given to criteria E. When we say demonstrate, it should be clearly, very clearly reasoned with examples, with evidence. Because I'm going to read that how you can get 7 to 8 or how you can get 6 out of 6 in criteria E. Your mathematics chosen should be relevant, commensurate with SL level. It should be precise. When we say precise, there should not be any repetitive calculations. Meaningful calculations should be there. Thorough understanding should be, evidences, examples should be used. Then only we can say that you can get 6 out of 6 in criteria E. It also doesn't mean that you choose something which you do not know, a big equation, and mere counting the number of pages to meet the requirement. No, it can be a simple piece of mathematics also. A small piece of mathematics relevant or commensurate with the SL level. But thorough understanding should be demonstrated with examples, reasons. Now, your internal assessment should begin with criteria E. First, personal interest. You should have strong personal interest. Why did you choose? Why you're going to choose? One paragraph. Okay, we will talk about those details again. You begin with criteria E, that what mathematics suits you or suits your chosen topic. Brainstorm, do some rough work, do some research, discuss with me again, show me, send me your workings. Okay, and then the other 4 criterion will follow. Presentation and all that will follow. Now, your internal assessment, as you know, is 20% of your full marks. Yes, everybody knows that, 20%. And we should have cover page. In cover page, we should have title and the number of pages. Now, your question may be, how many number of pages? Number of pages, as set by IB when we see the recommendations, 12 to 20 pages. But number of pages does not make sense when we say the quality of the work. When we talk about the quality of work, it is the quality of the work which will determine the levels, not the number of pages. So your focus should be on the quality of the work. How you can produce quality of the work? Best quality if you have thorough understanding of the descriptors, IA descriptors, criterions. Thorough understanding of IA criterion. Discuss, ask if something is not clear. Start with criteria E. Then we need 12 to 20 pages. Okay, that is a lot of work. Double lined, double spaced lines. 12 to 20 pages. It can be handwritten also, but 99.9% students type in the word processing, word document. You can make a PDF, you can convert that to PDF. Okay, so criteria E and the basic how to proceed about internal assessment. Now, what is the purpose of internal assessment? IB has some aims and objectives. IB wants students to, with thorough understanding, a good, satisfaction of the knowledge of mathematics, technology, and they should be able to, apply mathematics in real life. In order to meet those, objectives, we have this internal assessments also one of the part of meeting those assessment objectives. So here we expect you to, approach as per the given descriptors. Once you have this clarity that I have to start with criteria E, I have to keep my page limit 12 to 20, double line, what we say, this double space, double line spaced. And you have your aim in your mind, or you have written your aim, you have discussed with your teacher, and you have developed you have brainstormed mathematics, means your criteria E is clear to you, that how you will get 6 out of 6 in criteria E. That if you do not do internal assessment or IA or that's known as exploration actually in mathematics. If you do not complete your exploration, you may not get the diploma, So keep this in mind. The other important point, academic honesty. No plagiarism at all. No collusion at all. No plagiarism, no collusion. Where sometimes students tend to make mistake. And if IB have many softwares, Turnitin is one of them, through which we can check that whether it's your work or someone's work. So make sure that you do not do any academic misconduct. Academic honesty is very, very important. We need to be ethical throughout. It should be an enjoyable learning process. Okay? Please mark these points in your notebook, in your IA journal, which I have told you to maintain. Now, when we say another criterion A, that is presentation. There are various, it's a 4 marks. There are 4 descriptors to criteria A. The one is your exploration should be coherent, concise, and well organized. When we say coherent, what do you mean by coherent? Means the something which is easily readable. Suppose you develop something, you write something, and your friend is able to read and understand. It reads well. That is coherent. Graphs or diagrams are at appropriate place. Structure of the IA, there should be introduction. There should be, rational in the introduction. Aim should be there. Introduction, aim, rational, body, conclusion. All the parts are well linked. Then only we'll be able to read. The one word reads well is sufficient to include all this. Your exploration should read well. Means there should be introduction, rational, body, conclusion. All parts should be linked. It should look like authentic original copy of your original work. Coherent. When we say well organized, so you have introduction, but introduction about what? It should not be that your aim is different and introduction you're saying something else. In introduction, it should be described well. Your aim should be described. Well organized means there should be rational statement, conclusion, relevant graphs, tables, and diagrams are at appropriate place, not repetition. When we say, concise, when we say concise, that means what? There is no repetitive calculations. There's no repetition of any kind. Sometimes we say, oh, next, in the first part, I have done something, and the same type of different data I'm doing in the second part. That is also kind of repetitive work. Some statement you said in the second page, and the same statement you're using in the conclusion. Similar, same, A to Z. That is also kind of repetition. So avoid those repetitive statements or repetitive calculations. And concise also means that in the conclusion, you come back to your stated aim. What you stated in the beginning, you are ending commenting on that, or you are commenting on to what level of, to what extent you are able to achieve your aim, So that should also be concisely there. References should be there. Well organized, concise, coherent. These 3 are the bullet points to assess criteria A. So it is not that you first write criteria A, then B, then it is overall one copy of work, one piece of work through which we will see that criteria A, descriptors, that overall introduction is there, rational is there, body is there, graphs and diagrams are at appropriate place, all parts are relevantly linked, and there is no repetitive calculations. And in this, we encourage you to use technology. Sometimes we have big datas, which we can do with the help of technology, graphics display calculator, GeoGebra or Desmos. But sometimes what students do, they just do it manually, thinking that, oh, we'll get more marks. Maybe, no, that is not the way. I am saying be authentic, be realistic, use technology. If the big data are there, place them at appropriate place, put the big long tables in the appendices, but use technology. We move on to criteria B, very interesting, communication. One of the aims of the IB is also to develop your communication, mathematical communication. Now, mathematical communication, again, we use symbols, notations, terminology. It should be appropriately used. Sometimes we have calculator and, computer notation. It should not be typed. Computer notation or calculator notation should not be typed in your work. If it is software generated, okay. Otherwise, that gives a negative impact in your criteria B. You understand? Let's say we want to multiply 2 times 5, but in calculator it's 2 star 5. So if it is calculator screenshot, that is okay. But if you're typing in your work, it should be 2 times multiplied by 5. Key terms. Now, when you're doing some exploration in mathematics, there will be key terms, there will be key definitions, variables. It will be concise, it will be easy to read if you have defined them well at the appropriate place, or maybe in the introduction. And my x is this variable, my y is this variable, and this definition means this. and this and this. So key terms and variables should be well defined where required. So there are different forms of representation, means graphs, tables, formulae, pie charts, all these different forms. It doesn't mean that all will fit into your IA, into your exploration. It will depend on your kind of work, what you have chosen. Or maybe one graph, or maybe one or two tables, So try to develop or use appropriate mathematical, forms of representation. If we are saying table should have a title. If there are units required, units should be mentioned. You should talk about the table. Yes, more important, very important. Table or graph should have title, should have labels, units. You should introduce that. Talk about that, creatively. It's not that you're putting table here and talking about the table at the end, or not talking at all, and at one place you're clubbing all the tables and graphs. That is also not good mathematical communication. Understood? So tables, graphs, formulae. Yes, formulae should also be there and should be defined well, should be clarified well. Table should have title, graph should have title, labels, explanations. Sometimes, let's say we are doing some statistics work, and you are using bar chart also, and you're using the pie chart also for same purpose. That should not be there. Only one form of representation, either bar chart or, for the sake of analysis or for the sake of your work.